Just grabbed yet another $50 Husqvarna off Facebook, 435 x-torq. This is how it was when I picked it up. Just picked it up like 30 minutes ago from the town over. Had the brake cover off and the brake is engaged, so I'll have to get that open before I can slide it back over the clutch. And he said he stopped using this one because the chain just kept popping off the bar when he would use it. And he thinks it's because of this wear mark in the chain brake. Thought that might have been knocking it off, but we'll see. He said it ran good when he last used it. I'm not sure how long ago that was, but I'm sure it won't be too hard to fire up. The little primer bowl is nice and fresh. It's not cracked or anything. Looks like there's even a little bit of fuel in there. And as long as people keep posting these up for 50 bucks, I'm gonna have to keep going and buying them. I got no choice. But if I get too many, maybe I'll do like a giveaway or something. I don't need this many chainsaws. But let's dig into it. Just took the bar and chain off. Just looking it over now. I'm gonna check the gas and all that. Oh, that's bar oil. Let's look for that. We got no bar oil. That's expected. And we got some pretty varnished gas. Doesn't look bad in there. Looks pretty clean. He said this was a lightly used saw. It looks pretty lightly used. I want to go. We got gas in the primer. Just looks a little dark. You choke, you gotta pull that out and then up. And it says 6 times. I think that's about 6. I'm not sure. I didn't count. Let's just see what happens. Nope. Okay, we couldn't get that lucky. That's all right. I'm gonna go ahead and dump out the fuel that's in here. So let's see how that looks. It's not bad, and it looks very clean in there. Looks like a dang near brand new fuel filter. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour some new fuel in. Maybe we can get that up into the carburetor, mixing around. This might flood the carburetor a bit, but hopefully that'll push some of the old gas out and get the new gas in there. Let's try it again. Well, it's a good start. Okay, well that's pretty cool. We got lucky. Just needed some fresh fuel. That fired right up. So now I'm gonna adjust it. Of course, it didn't stay running. as soon as I let off the gas it would die, which may mean it just needs to be ran a little more and that'll clean out the carb. But let's get this back opened up so we can slide this back over and put the bar on, and then maybe we can at least try it in the meantime. Alright, so to get that chain brake off, how it normally goes is this little 3-prong doohickey meshes in with the 3 prongs on here, and that would rotate it on and off. But now I wonder if I can just slide this. Yeah, I can't slide it on all the way and just open it with this because I can't get this over the clutch, which is how it breaks in the first place. But let's actually open this up and clean out some of those springs. Here we go. We're gonna pop all these screws out and get to the spring underneath. Alright, now we see our mechanism. We need this to come rotate clockwise a bit. That'll push this inward, which will open this. Because the brake is spring loaded to snap on quick and easily, but not easily to release it. Got a little degreaser. Rotate that this way. Try to pop this spring out. It's a very stiff mechanism. Feels like it can't open all the way. Okay, well, it's moving. Can't really get any more open than this. It's enough to slide over the clutch. I suppose let's throw this spring back in here and then see if we can't manhandle it open the rest of the way. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go grab a new glove. Alright, let's try this one more time. Try to be a little more careful. But I'm not sure if there's any way to do that. Whew. Okay, well, since we got that cleaned out a bit, let me throw this cover back on because I think that'll help. This thing is... that is a tight spring. Which I guess it has to be to stop a moving chain. Alright, how are we going to do this? The other one was kind of nice because the handle stayed attached to it, so I had a little more leverage to get the brake open, but now I do not. Wondering if I could pull the whole handle off the top of this and maybe somehow use that. Alright, got this off. Now when this properly slides in, oh yes. Woo. Ouch, kind of hurt, but we got the brake all the way open. Whew. That was a little tougher than I thought it would be. Now I guess we should slide this back on and build it back in reverse. Tighten this and pull that chain in. A little looser than that. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Alright. Let's try to fire this up again and see how it looks. There we go. It's finally staying on now. Just needed to be ran a bit. Throw in a little bar oil before we go test it out. Here we go. That'll do. Okay. Don't forget this chain's pretty old and worn already. That's already pretty loose. So I'm just going to try to cut down a little tree or two and see if it actually does keep popping off, which I should definitely tighten that before testing, but whatever. Let's run it. Well, the chain did come off, but it was cutting great. Alright, well, I'm pretty stoked to have another one of these that's working. I'm not going to say it's fully fixed yet, since that chain did just pop off like the guy said it was. But I'm going to, before I judge it too hard, I'm going to go get a new chain, because that one's pretty worn. And then if it keeps popping off a new chain, then I'll assume it is something to do with that chain brake. Just got back from the store, got a new 16-inch blade, and I also picked up a little chainsaw file, because I'm going to try to file these teeth and sharpen this blade back up. And then if it keeps popping off still, which this isn't going to fix it from popping off, but I figured it must not be the blade, so I'm gonna sharpen these teeth up, put it back in action, and then tighten it down to the right tension and try it again. Alright, feels sharp. I think the chain tension is pretty good. Back at the little pine tree I dropped yesterday. Let's see if we can't fire this sucker up and chop it up the rest of the way without the chain popping off. Well, I think that blade just needed a little better tension. This thing's cutting great. It does seem like the idle is a little low, like it stalls out on me here and there. But that's just a carb adjustment to solve that, and I'm waiting on that tool to get delivered. Northern tool didn't carry that, so get one of those and this thing should be running good. So this guy's fixed. Okay, now that the chainsaw's squared away, I gotta readdress this blower. It'll still fire up for me and it'll run. Hey, and it'll run, but as soon as I let off the throttle now it keeps dying. And it wasn't doing that the first day, it was running fine. I must have rattled some dirt or something loose and I'm assuming it's clogging a jet in the carburetor. So I'm gonna try to demonstrate what it's doing for me, and then we'll try to crack that open and fix it. And that was me letting the gas off. So as soon as I let off the throttle, it dies. And it also sounds like it's kind of starving for fuel when you're first trying to pull that trigger in. So let's open that carburetor. I also tried already when I was at Northern Tool to get a new air filter, but they did not carry that. I don't know, it seems like it got a little saturated with something. But I've tried it even without this blocking it, and the same problem persists, so it's not solely from the air filter. So it looks like to get this thing off, we gotta take out these two screws, and those probably run through the whole body of the carburetor, and it'll come off, and then we'll still be attached by the two fuel lines. big gasket and guard. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull this. Yeah, those are long screws. This thing is adorable. It's so tiny. It looks very clean inside the carburetor itself, from what I can see. Outside's a little grimy, but that's to be expected. I'm gonna take the bowl off, if you can even call it a bowl. It's so tiny. There we go. Whew! Almost lost that guy. Jesus. Our little bitty bowl. It's a little nasty. There's a little bit of discoloration. But it's probably just from the oil in the gas. Here's our diaphragm. And it looks a little loose. So if I had to guess, just like on the Case garden tractor, this could be an issue. Now we have access to our jets. Should be able to take our carb cleaner and get up in there and try to blast out any dirt or debris. Let me get those fuel lines off so I don't blast any carb cleaner into the fuel. There we go. Now we can really see the carburetor. This is our itty bitty float right there. That drops the fuel pin. And we're going to clean out all our little jets and holes. And then put it back together. You know, while I got it this far, I might check these two. There's two little gaskets there, or diaphragms, or whatever. And then I can also dump out any residual carb cleaner and such that I just blasted up in there. This is probably our issue. This diaphragm seems a little loose. Ooh, that is not wanting to come off. Yeah, this is toast. Let's see if this guy will do the trick. Ooh, yep. And this diaphragm, which this one I think is a real issue. This part is too loose, which happens after a while, especially if they sit. Yeah, all that's old dried up fuel. That's bad news, bears. And this diaphragm stretched out. I'm gonna have to take a flat edge and try to get all this off. It's gonna take some time. Alright, I'm really kind of struggling here to get any of this gasket off at any reasonable pace, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this throttle cable off. That'll make it easier to work with anyways, if I can. Okay, got our throttle cable off. Boop. Now we got the whole carburetor out, and now I can really clean this thing up. I can take the top off everything, and then I'm gonna go soak this whole thing in a bath of carb cleaner, and hopefully that will loosen up this, and maybe I'll use hot water too. Also got an ultrasonic cleaner I could put this in and get this taken care of. And then I'll go ahead and order these new diaphragms and then we should be good to go after that. Back a couple days later, got a new carb off Amazon. It was very hard to find a replacement carburetor for this, so this isn't even guaranteed to be the exact fit, but all the reviews said it could fit with some modification. Fuel lines, there's a new primer bulb, got another spark plug with it, some gaskets. Here's an air filter that I'm pretty positive doesn't fit. Yeah, not even close. But this is what we're after. Definitely looks a little bit different. And I'm hoping even if this doesn't fit, then maybe I can just pull the gaskets out that we need. So we see the face is a little different, but I think all the important openings are there where it's supposed to be. So I guess we're ready to just slap it on there. Now we're primed up. Let's see if it'll go. It's idling.